Hey folks, welcome to the final class, class 6 from the Conscious Relationship class. If you're here watching this video, then that tells me you have successfully navigated your way through the inevitable resistance that is going to come from conditioned mind to doing expansive work like this, work that requires us to look deeply, look inwardly, and make real positive changes in our lives. And if so, congratulations, well done. That's not easy to do, actually, and I'm really deeply grateful that you are here and that you have put all the work that you have into this class. I hope it has been helpful to you, and I hope that, that you will continue to receive from the work you've done in this class forever, really. Okay, class 6. So towards the beginning of the class, we looked at our relationship with other people and where we were with that. And then we looked at our relationship with ourselves, as you'll recall. And since then, we've been looking a lot at both those places, at particularly our relationships with other people in terms of various techniques and communication techniques and boundaries and consequences and all the things we've looked at. And we've looked at our relationship with ourselves as we attempt to use these tools and have good, loving, mature relationships with other people. Today, what I want to look at is what to me is the most important kind of relationship of all the kinds of relationships, and that's our relationship with life. So that's life with a capital L. And when I use that word life, what I mean is it's the thing we can't talk about. It's the great mystery that is causing all of this to be, all that we experience to be. You might call it spirit, God, divine intelligence, whatever you want to call it. I tend to call it life because to call it something like God, there's just so many associations with that word that I think are unhelpful. In theistic traditions, people take this thing that I call life just for the need to call it something, and they put it out there, and they relate to it out there as if it's outside themselves. And it isn't. It's immanent. It is in everything that we experience. It is everything that we experience, to me. Life is, it's the experience I'm having. It's the perceptions that are happening in my body and my mind. It's my body, it's my feelings, it's my thoughts. It's also the food I eat. It's the shoes I put on my feet. It's right now there's beautiful fall weather happening here with, multicolored leaves falling off the trees. That's all life. That's all life happening. So there is really, to me, there is no separation between ourselves and life. And yet, in an interesting way, we can talk about it as a relationship. And towards the end of this assignment, I'll kind of look into that more. But we are one with life. And yet, part of the mystery of being a human being is that we are one, and at the same time we're not one. We are in relationship with. Okay? So I want us to look at our relationship with this thing that I call life, that you can call whatever you want to, and see where we are with that. Because to me, again, this is the most important relationship. To me personally, I would say that this is my primary relationship. This is the one relationship in some ways you could say that I'm having, or that at least that I'm attempting to have, that I'm practicing having. I'm not necessarily in that place all the time, but that's what I'm practicing. To be in relationship with life as best I can, moment by moment, as I go through the day, all day long, every day. That's the practice. That's the work. That's what I'm attempting to dedicate my life to. And I hope that you will, if you're not already, I hope you'll feel inspired to approach life in the same way. The other relationships in my life, everything, even the relationship with my body, or the relationship with the food I eat, the relationship with other people in my life, even my intimate relationship, or my relationship with family and friends. Those to me are all relationships with life. They're just particular manifestations of life. Like my friend Kathleen, I don't think she would mind being considered as a manifestation of life. We're in relationship, and in that way, that's this mysterious way where it's not just one. We're multifaceted within ourselves. I can relate to her as life. She is a manifestation of the great mystery in this particular form, and I can relate to her as Kathleen, this other human being who is outside of me that I'm in a relationship with. It's absolutely astounding that both those things are possible simultaneously. But for me, what I want for myself anyway is to keep an eye on the prize, to recognize that I am in relationship with life. And even deeper, and again, we'll get to this a little bit later, I am life. I am myself a manifestation of life. That which I call me is life in this form. And whatever feeling or imagination of separation that I experience is illusory. That in fact I am life, I am an expression of life, and I am at the same time in a relationship with that life that I experience. Okay? There's one other thing I wanted to say before I launch into the actual exercise, which is in practice there's a negative way, a negative approach, and there's a positive way. They call it the via negativa and the via positiva. A lot of what we talk about in this practice, what I talk about this in practice, and we have been talking about in the class, is the negative way. And the negative way is you uncover everything that is not authentic in you. You identify what's not authentic, and you let that go, and then what is authentic will remain. That's the negative way. And so when we're talking about conditioned mind and all these conditioned processes and everything, that's the negative way. The whole reason we call different aspects of our experience conditioned mind is to label that as a thing that is inauthentic and put it out there where we can let it go. Okay? But there's also the positive way. In some senses, I think you could say that these practical tools we've been using are the practical way, are a part of the practical way. The positive way, rather, not the practical way, although they are very practical. In the positive way, we're moving towards what we want. We are actively practicing what we want to have, the union that we want to have with life, to say it really broadly, as opposed to the negative way, where the way to get to authenticity is to let go of what we're not. Here, we are actually attempting to practice and embody what we are authentically. Okay, and so this part that in this assignment, this is the positive way, the purest, I think, form of the positive way, is to intentionally, assertively be in direct relationship with our essence, or to say it in a way that's not dualistic, to be our essence, to be who we truly are, not by letting go of what is other than that, but by stepping directly into that reality and that experience. Okay? So I just throw that in case it might be interesting as a framework for this. All right, so let's get on to the assignment. There's going to be two parts. The first part, I'm going to give you, like we've done before, I'm going to give you a series of questions. Hit pause on the video after each question. Do some journaling in response to the question, and then continue until we get through all the questions. And the second part will be a guided imagery. Okay, here comes the first question. So I've been talking about life and our relationship with life. The first question is, what is the status of your relationship with life? With life with a capital L. Where are you, to say it another way, where are you now in your relationship with life? Do you have a relationship with life? If so, what is the quality of it? Where are you with it? Yeah, like that. So hit pause on the video and just see what comes up with you, for you. Again, remember, there's no right answer. Just see what arises and write down what arises. Okay, so the next question is, where are you going in your relationship with life? Where are you headed? Where do you want to go? Where do you feel like you're naturally going? And as a subset to that, what I want to ask you is, in what ways, if any, do you invest in this relationship? In my experience, my relationship with life requires investment, as any relationship does. Like in my relationship with Kathleen, I invest, and so does she, I invest time and energy into that relationship. We spend time together, we work on our relationship dynamics, we have fun together, we do all the things we do together, and all those are investments in the relationship. And those investments, of course, that's what builds the relationship. That's what creates the relationship. Even though our relationship with life is more abstract, it's not nearly as tangible as my friend Kathleen, although, as I said, she is within her form is that life. Anyway, it's not as tangible, but the requirement to invest in the relationship is the same. And so, do you do that? Do you invest in the relationship? For example, in my experience, investing in my relationship with life requires silence. It requires silence, and it requires time each day to just be. So I meditate. I have a meditation practice that assists me in my relationship with life. And I also spend time, I'll stop during the day to just be. Sometimes in the evening I'll sit I've got this kind of a chair that's outside, and I'll sit outside under the stars, or I'll watch the sunset or something. I'll just be, and I'll just be with life. I even feel like when I go to group in the evenings with our virtual groups, I'm investing in my relationship with life. In groups, I'm also investing in my relationship with myself, and also in my relationships with others, and having good relationships with others. But underneath that is my relationship with life. So the question is, where are you going in your relationship with life? And what do you need to do to get there? What kind of investments do you need to make in order to get wherever you're going in your relationship with life? Okay, very good. Welcome back. All right, your last question is this. As you see where you are in your relationship with life, and you see where you're going, and also you see to some degree, what you need to do in order to maintain and invest in your relationship with life, ask yourself, what keeps you from that relationship? What do you choose instead? What do you feel you need to let go of in order to deepen your relationship with life? Okay? So I'm assuming in this a desire, which I think is universal, to be in direct relationship with life as it unfolds. What gets in the way? What inhibits that? What do you need to work on and let go of in order to continue to more profoundly deepen your relationship with life? Okay, very good. Welcome back again. Okay, let's put that down for now, and if you would, let's move into a guided imagery. So, as always, you're welcome to lie down if you would like to. If you feel at all sleepy, that's probably not a good idea. However you choose to do it, put yourself in a position where you can be relaxed and alert at the same time. Go ahead and do that now while I'm speaking. As always, with this and with everything else, there's no reason to have any certain agenda for yourself. There's no way to do it right. There's no way to do it wrong. So I'm just going to guide you a little bit in your imagination. Just see what arises. Okay, just see what arises, and know that everything, whatever arises, is there for you to see. And that's what is appropriate for you right now. So we'll begin, as we usually do, by taking a little time just to get here, get fully here in the body and in our experience. And so if you would, turn your attention to your breath and your breathing. Feel your breath as it enters your body and fills your body and leaves your body. If you have anything banging around in your mind from the previous part of the exercise, or maybe something else that's going on in your life, just see if you can let that go for now. See if you can let go of whatever thoughts may be attempting to pull your attention away, and allow yourself to be fully here right now, just breathing in and breathing out. Notice how good it feels to be present. Notice how good it feels to be in your body, to actually be here where you are instead of off in some fantasy. Notice how you can, as we've been practicing, hold your emotional experience in this place. How you can be aware of your emotional state, whatever it may be, and just hold that in loving awareness without making anything wrong, without trying to change anything, just holding it in loving, compassionate awareness. Notice how you can do the same thing with your mind and with what's going on in your mind. That you can hold your thoughts, that you can hold the state of your mind in a place of conscious, compassionate awareness. See if you can just be aware of what's going on in your mind without interfering. Just let it be as it is. But to be in a place of awareness in relationship to your thoughts instead of identifying with them. Notice how it's possible to do that, to just be aware in the middle of all of your physical, emotional, and mental experience. Okay, and now if you would, turn your attention to this thing that you call I, or me. It's going to be an experience. So turn your attention to the experience that you call I, or me, and just explore that a little bit. What is this thing that you call I? What is it really? Notice that this thing that you call I is not the same as your body. You have a body, you live in a body, but you are not your body. Notice that this thing you call I is not the same as your sensations. You have sensations in your body. You experience sensations, but you are not those sensations. You are something other than sensation. Notice that this thing you call I is not the same as your perceptions. The things that you perceive, the things that you see, the things that you're aware of. You have perceptions. You are aware of things, but you are not those things. And you are not the perception of those things. You're something else. Notice that this thing you call I is not the same as your emotions. We can often get to a place where we identify with our emotions and we think that is who we are. But it's not. You experience emotion, but you are not those emotions. You are the thing experiencing it, not the thing itself. Notice that this thing you call I is not the same as your thoughts. And this can get really tricky because we very much have a tendency to identify with our thoughts and assume that our thoughts are who we are. But notice how that's not so. You have thoughts. You experience thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. You are the experiencer of your thoughts and not the thoughts themselves. Notice also that you are not your actions. You are not what you do. That's another place where people will tend to identify themselves. They will think that they are what they do, but they are not. We are not. We do things. We perform actions, but we are that which is performing the actions. We are not the actions themselves. And so ask yourself, if you are not your body, your sensations, your perceptions, your emotions, your thoughts, or your behaviors, or your actions, then who or what are you? What is it that remains? And so what I want you to do here is explore your experience. Don't try to answer that question intellectually. Explore your experience. Be in the place that you call I. What is that? What remains if it's not any of those things that I listed? Notice that this thing that you call I is pure awareness, or you might say consciousness. It is something without objects, without content. It is that which perceives and is aware of perceptions. It is that which understands and is aware that it understands. It is the subject of experience. And the subject of experience is awareness in its essence. See if you can get a felt experience of that. That who you are most essentially, most fundamentally, is consciousness or awareness. Just feel into that for a moment. See what it feels like to acknowledge and to be in that place of pure awareness. And now notice that this thing that we call life, life with a capital L, the divine mystery, is the same as this pure awareness and consciousness. It's pure being. Everything that exists within this consciousness. Even more, I think, direct than that. Everything is this consciousness. Everything is this consciousness manifesting in form. That is who we are. We are also this divine consciousness manifesting in form. There is no difference. There is no separation. The awareness that we experience, the consciousness that we experience, is not our consciousness. There is no real I. When we move to a place that is our essence, then who we are and what life is the same. Just explore that for a moment, if you will. I invite you to stay with this experience for as long as you want or need. If you'd like to hit pause on the video just to be with us for a little while, feel free to do that. And just whenever you feel ready, return your attention to your breathing. Take a couple nice, long, deep, full breaths. And whenever you feel ready, open your eyes. And whenever you feel ready, if you would, do some journaling about that experience. Make some notes for yourself about what you experience. And then whenever you're ready, let us know what you saw in the class. Take care, everyone. Be well. And I'll see you soon in the class.